My name's Trent. I'm a chemist. My brother Troy, a biologist. And we are the Bourbon Brother Whiskey Nerds. Happy Wednesday, little
It's
brother.
Wednesday, Trent, which means we have spun the Only Drams app. Pick my pour, and it spins a bunch of bottles, and it landed on Pipe Dream Cask Strength.
From the folks at Redwood Empire in California. Named after the majestic California
And
redwood.
we actually saw some of the redwoods in California.
We
were out there many years ago.
there.
They are extremely majestic.
And you should go. It's very enjoyable. We've been fortunate to travel. I will speak only for myself. I've been fortunate to travel overseas. I know Troy has as well.
Yeah.
And one of the places we went was California. And I think they named them after famous redwoods.
I believe
Pipe
they do.
Dream is
it might be a famous redwood, but there is California juice in here. Now, it's a blend. I think it's Kentucky, California, and Indiana, MGP.
It's got an interesting mash bill. This is a 4 grain. I did not realize this.
Yes, 4 grain. Let's see where it's right on the back of the bottle.
God love them.
Buffalo Trace. Mash bill 74, 24 and a half, and 1.5.
20 is the rye.
20 would be the rye.
Okay, well, there you go. So not screwing around with the rye.
No.
4.5 barley, 1.5 wheat.
Pretty good proof point. 116.8.
Oh, there you go. If I'm remembering correctly, gonna be a nice pour. I remember enjoying it. One of these that we haven't had in a while. This is why you have an Only Drams app, because it forces you to come back to bottles you've forgotten about in your collection. When you have as many bottles as Troy and I do, this tends to happen. I'm excited.
It's a nice problem to have
for some California whiskey. Good stuff from the folks at Redwood Empire. We'll bring that back on screen before we sign off, folks. Going in for the nose on some Pipe Dream Cask Strength whiskey.
Well, it smells pretty good.
There's a note in here I cannot place. It's challenging me. Is it a toasted note?
Ooh. I'm going to throw maple out at you.
I agree with your maple note. It's reading sweet.
It does read sweet. Very traditional bourbon flavors.
Right,
You know, there's caramels, there's vanillas, there's brown sugar.
Nothing wrong with that.
There is something in here.
I'm on board.
Smoke and char.
Well, smoke and char is good, right? There's some earthiness in here.
Oh, yeah, there could be a leathery note coming through.
Yeah, leather is really good. Almost, in
I think that toast you're picking up might be the char.
Well, that's true. It could be. In reference to their outdoors, like Redwood's heritage, there's some earthiness here, I almost want to say a dirtiness, right? Like a
kind of like, after a thunderstorm in the spring, you get that ozone-y odor, which is actually what it is, because lightning ionizes the air and effectively makes ozone. Pause for nerdiness.
I could write you that equation. I will not.
We will spare you that, but
I don't have a pen. Otherwise,
that smell actually has a name, and I can't remember what it is, but it literally does have a name.
Maybe I am. I'm going to stick to toast. But I think you're right. It might be the char. That's not a bad thing. Nothing here is out of balance, right? There's some nice oak presence. There's some really nice sweetness. Enveloped, there is a rye. Now that I get in here, I don't know if it's a predominant note.
Rye.
But there is 20% rye in here. It's not like it's hiding.
Or almost like wet leaves, maybe.
Yes, that's really good. Really good.
Like the forest where it's just rained and it's damp, and you're getting that
much like the redwood
earthy compostiness. That sounds bad, but I don't mean it like that.
It's really pleasing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, really, I like it. I get some, this is off the reservation, but I get notes like that on Maker's Mark products sometimes. Like those leaves.
Interesting.
Leaves. And this has got wheat in it, so maybe I'm not completely out of my mind. Now that I'm in here a little bit, a nice The rye's presenting as baking spice.
Cinnamon. Ooh, excuse me. Yes.
Cinnamon, nutmeg, clove. Really nice spice backdrop to this whiskey.
I gotta drink it.
Nose
is very inviting.
I'm digging it. Digging it.
Ooh, she's a spicy meatball. Ooh, wow.
Troy's right.
Pepper.
The spice. Okay, a couple things. First of all, this whiskey's sort of a sneaker. I really like the palate for the sweetness wrapped around that spice that you're talking about.
That spice is really prevalent.
Really, really nice. Really.
It softens out on the finish, and I get bringing back some of those sweet notes. Maybe a little malty sweetness on finish for me.
I'm getting some rye pepper on the finish.
I can get behind that. Yep.
And like it.
It's softer. It's white pepper. It's a little more floral.
Well, maybe the wheat playing a role there. That small amount of wheat. I don't know how much 1.5% of wheat. Like I'm torn. Like it seems silly. Why go through the trouble of throwing in 1.5%? They have sig figs.
I know.
On their mash bill.
But anyway,
it's extra nerdy, and that I like. But why do that unless you really wanted to? Like there was a reason.
I don't think they put it in there without intention.
Well,
I can't imagine that.
It's not like they tripped and accidentally some wheat fell in there, and they're like,
whatever.
Just run with it. I have a feeling it was done with intent. This is really, really nice. I am digging the spice finish. I'm sticking to the pepper, but it's more than just like a rye whiskey, pure pepper, I am rye, hear me roar spice. It's got some depth to it. There's some cinnamon. There's some other baking spice notes here. I really like the palate on this whiskey because the sweetness wrapped around.
They did a nice job composing those sweet notes with that heavy dose of spice.
Yep.
It's not particularly old. It says aged at least 4 years. So
I mean, again, it's got
some of that spice could be a little bit of youthfulness, maybe a touch of graininess.
Barrel
funk again. Just didn't round
like
out
a barrel
as
note.
much.
The spice from a barrel. That makes some sense. I can get behind that. There's a barrel bite that can appear on whiskey.
Barrel bite. I like that.
Now that there's less in my bottle, or less in my Glencairn, I'm getting a nice earthiness, some tea.
Ooh. Black tea is a good note. My second sip wasn't quite as spicy as my first.
A little more sweet, I agree.
A little sweeter.
Boy, the sweetness here is really traditional, but it's really well done.
Yeah, it is really well
done.
We lost our lighting. It'll be all right.
Can you still see us?
I hope so. We're still here.
We're still here. We're in darkness now. It's mood lighting. But no, we are. I like the dynamics of this sip. It's drinking unique.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that you have something like this.
Yeah, it's probably not a bottle you have, which is kind of cool.
Right. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a comp, and I'm not coming up with one. The nice developed sweetness makes me think of like a Booker's The Reserves. I don't know that it reaches quite that level, but maybe Penelope 10. I'm just thinking out loud here. Maybe reminiscent of a Maker's Mark product. I made that comp before, so I'll make it again. Because the caramel vanilla sweetness here is really, really nice. But there's a backdrop of rye that obviously you don't get on Maker's Mark product. So, but it's soft and inviting and drinkable. It's sort of an enjoyable experience from start to finish. The proof point, right on.
Yeah.
I think it drinks under its proof. I'd believe 105, 110, maybe even 100.
I wouldn't consider it hot.
Nice Kentucky hug, but not mingles well with the finish, right? The hug goes well into the finish, really nice. Big believer in this whiskey. Really an enjoyable product. I like what they're doing over there. Their rye is pretty good. I have their Emerald Giant, just $35 rye. Pretty good product.
It's good stuff. Nicely done from
the folks out there at Redwood Empire.
From a Redwood Empire.
They're really good. They're really good. This is why you need an Only Drams app. And this is why you need the Bourbon Brother Whiskey Nerds.
Absolutely.
To remind you of these things and these hidden gems in your collection. This is why you need the Only Drams app. Just scan the barcode. It'll tell you the price, how rare it is.
Puts it in your collection.
What you got, and then you spin the wheel. It picks your pour. That's what we do here on Wednesdays on the channel, folks.
For what you drink on Wednesday.
And we don't care if you're watching this on a Wednesday.
Really
Maybe you're watching this on the next Monday because you had a busy end of the week and a busy weekend. What do we care? I don't care. We're just happy you're here watching. We're glad you joined us. And you do, if you haven't. Statistics show somewhere in the neighborhood of 75 to 85% of you are not subscribed. You're watching. You're here with us. And we're happy. But you need to subscribe so you don't miss a minute of the fun here on the Bourbon Brother Whiskey Nerds. Fun stuff on that Patreon channel as well.
Link in the comments to that. Budget offerings there.
Really budget friendly.
$3 a month.
$3 a month. Less than you spend on coffee every day of your life, folks. I don't know that there's a lot more to say. We've done all the damage we can do today.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
I like this whiskey. It's really quite nice. Really quite nice. Good stuff at Redwood Empire. A maturing distillery.
Yes.
In honor of Dan, our
In honor of
big fan.
Dan, one of our Patreon
Join Dan
members.
on the Patreon channel. Help us out a lot by liking, sharing, and subscribing as well. Folks, I think that's all we have for you today. We really, as always, thank you for joining us. We're on an upward trajectory with subscribers. We want to keep that going. Please do check out those Patreon channel offerings. We really appreciate the help if you're willing to help us out there. Folks, we're happy to have you as always. Thanks for joining us this Wednesday or whatever day you're watching this. And no matter what day you're drinking, make sure you're always drinking what you like.
Liking what you drink.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.